Tonight from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, the Red Sox 11-game road trip reaches its final stop in a 3-game series with the Dodgers. The Red Sox 4-4 coming into Chavez Ravine. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Los Angeles. I'm Dave O'Brien. Great to have you with us. Along with my partner, Steve Lyons. Garen Austin will be joining us in just a couple of moments. 4-4 doesn't sound like a great trip to this point, Steve, but when you think about it, Red Sox pitching is the #1 reason why the Sox are at least 500 right now.
Yeah, I think if you're looking to find the reasons why your team's playing 500 baseball, when you think maybe they're a better club than that, you try to figure out what's going right and what's going wrong. Well, you got to point to the pitching staff when you're saying what is going right. These guys are getting it done. You look at the team ERA, how many hits they've been giving up in the innings pitched. Maybe they're walking a few too many guys overall, but it hasn't really come back to hurt them. It's really been the offense that has been lagging behind. The pitching staff is absolutely doing their job.
Yeah, Red Sox only scoring 3 runs per game, trying to do better than that tonight here in National League Los Angeles, taking on the Dodgers in the first of a 3-game series. The weather always cooperative. Going to be a big crowd here tonight for the first of 3 as this long road swing continues for the Boston Red Sox. BuyAToyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. The 2017 Kia Sportage. Visit anykiadealers.com to learn more. Digital Federal Credit Union. See what DCU can save you. Subaru Retailers of New England. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, and nothing to hide. Red Sox taking on another left-hander. They've seen a lot of them on this road swing. Scott Kazmir coming in at 9-4 with a .441 earned run average. Here's a look at the Sox lineup now, brought to you by BuyAToyota.com. Toyota's website for deals. Mookie Betts, Dustin Pedroia, Xander Bogaerts go 1-2-3. Hanley Ramirez returning to the lineup tonight with Jackie Bradley in center, Aaron Hill at third, Sandy Leon catching, Bryce Brenson left, and Stephen Wright is the pitcher. He'll have to hit tonight, batting out of the 9th spot. Here's the Dodgers starting pitcher, brought to you by McDonald's, and you know him, of course, Scott Kazmir. He's faced the Red Sox more times than any opponent in his career.
All right, let's check in on the Dodger defense draft, brought to you by DraftKings. Got Turner over there at third base, Seager at short, Utley and Gonzalez around the infield. In the outfield, new outfielder Howie Kendrick in left field, Jock Peterson in center, and the new Dodger Josh Reddick out there in right field. Yasmani Grandal, an excellent defensive catcher, is behind the plate. And Kazmir is your pitcher.
The umpire is brought to you by ToyotaCertified.com. Jim Wolf for the balls and strikes. Chad Whitson at first. Gary Cedarstrom at second. Eric Cooper at third base. And Mookie Betts to start it off, hitting .306, 22 home runs and 71 runs batted in. The lefty's first offering of the night in there for strike one. Chatting with Omar Garciaparra, who's here in Los Angeles, is one of the Dodger analysts, and he was raving about Mookie Betts. Very excited about watching him in the series. There's a lot of similarities in their offensive game as that one trickles right through Grandal. Dustin Pedroia on deck, then Xander Bogaerts. Red Sox winners last night in Seattle, took extra innings, but they beat the Mariners to split that series and got into Los Angeles about 4 a.m. 2-1.
Going to see a lot of that from Kazmir right there. He's pretty much a high fastball guy and then works that changeup. That's his best out pitch. Throw a little cutter, slider to go along with it.
Mookie's hit safely in 6 straight. Pretty good series in Seattle, 6 for 18 with a home run. Although this Red Sox team after him has not really woken up offensively.
Back-to-back changeups there. Mookie's probably looking dead red here.
Base hit into center field, so give him a 7-game hitting streak. He continues to be the hot hand, and where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your TV remote. SAP presented by ToyotaCertified.com. Search for your factory-backed Toyota certified used vehicle right now. The weather just gorgeous. 73 degrees, clear pretty much every day.
Every day. Mookie had a really good at-bat right there by the pitches he didn't swing at.
Pedroia hitting right at 300 with 12 homers. And loves to face the guys facing right now. His numbers against Kazmir are like cartoonish. He's a .512 lifetime hitter against Scott Kazmir. 22 for 43. Kazmir's only struck him out 4 times in all those at bats.
That's those numbers you were talking about. Kazmir has faced the Red Sox more than any other team he's ever faced. Well, the reverse is true. That means Petey's faced him a ton of times and he's loving it. It's not a small sample size you're talking about with a .500 average.
That's ridiculous. Over that many at bats, a major league pitcher against a major league hitter. He has had no clue how to get Dustin Pedroia. And that is outside at 90. He used to be a hard thrower, Steve. He used to throw 95, 96.
Not so much anymore, but he does go up in the zone now. He kind of lives up there because of the changeup. He wants everything to look like it's coming out on the same plane, and he's been effective doing that. You and I, Dave, talked about not so much running, not a lot of stolen bases on this road trip. And Grandal behind the plate is a very good catch and throw guy, so you got to be careful about trying to steal against him anyway.
Well, the Sox have not gotten on very much, but when they have had an opportunity to run, they've kind of shut it down. Let's see if Mookie's up to anything right now with nobody out. The 2-1. He's not running, and it's poked foul out of play. Red Sox only hitting .227 through the first 8 games of the road trip. But the ERA for the staff is 2.69. That has kept them competitive.
You can see the frustration in John Farrell's face when he was talking about, man, now we're getting great pitching and our offense has kind of gone south. Need to pick that back up again.
The 2-2 to Dustin Pedroia with Betts leading and a throw over. I think the real frustrating part of that is the Red Sox have not exactly run into a great gauntlet of pitching. You know, when Jared Weaver's throwing 84 miles an hour, that's a guy this offense should knock around. There've been a slew of guys throwing in the middle and high 80s who have really kind of dazzled the Red Sox. Hasn't been the hard throwers. 2-2 chopped toward the middle. Seager taps second for 1, line to first for the double play. So Kazmir wins that battle against Pedroia, who is double up.
Yeah, I think that's the frustrating part. I think there's no question this Red Sox team is a fastball hitting ball club. And it's those guys that don't really throw it up there all that well that can beat you. This is a tough situation for Petey. He knows as soon as he hits that ball, it's going to be a ground ball double play.
It's the 19th time he's been doubled up this season. That erases the base hit of Mookie Betts and brings up Xander Bogaerts at 321, 14 homers, 67 runs batted in. Red Sox began play tonight 2 games behind both Baltimore and Toronto, who are tied for the AL East lead. And the 0-1 fly ball into right center field. Peterson tracks that, and there to make the play to retire the side. So the Red Sox in the end sent only 3 men up here in the first inning in Los Angeles. The Chevy dealers, Chase Utley leads it off. Corey Seager, Justin Turner, and then Josh Reddick, who's new to them. Adrian Gonzalez at first base. Yasmani Grandal doing the catching. Howie Kendrick in left. Jock Peterson in center. And Kazmir, the pitcher, hits ninth. Red Sox starting pitcher presented by your New England Audi dealers. Stephen Wright, 12-5, a .320 earned run average. He pitched here at Dodger Stadium as a teenager. And played here in a couple of youth events. So he was very, very familiar with it. Utley climbing into 254, 7 homers, 32 runs batted in, now 37 years old. See the touch of gray in his hair. 6-time All-Star, but they love what he is doing for them at the top of the order.
Yeah, they, when he came here last season, I thought everybody was figuring that would be it for him.
Popped into left, Bogart's racing out, Brent's coming on, and Xander will make the play as Bryce Brent slides by for the first out.
Let's check in on the Red Sox defense. That's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Around the infield. Hill making another start at third base. Nice play right there by Bogarts at short. Pedroia at second. And Hanley back in at first base after the injury. Bryce Brent's left. Bradley Jr. in center. Betts in right. And Stephen Wright on the hill today, pitching to Sandy Leone, will be doing the catching.
Trying to handle that knuckleball. Big swing and a miss by Corey Seager, the shortstop. 306 with 19 home runs. 22-year-old star in the making. He's a big kid, too. It's 6'4", 220. And having a big rookie season.
Here's that play that Bogarts made. Bryce Brent wasn't getting in here quick enough, and that's just a great job by the shortstop, who will go out and make a play into short left field. Some guys don't like to go out there and get it.
0-2, and he got a piece of that. Justin Turner on deck. Seager was the top-ranked prospect coming into this season, according to MLB.com. He's lived up to it.
Yeah, they didn't miss.
And the 0-2 from Wright. Went to the fastball and a high fly lifted into left, but Brent's has some room back there. Back near the 360 mark. So it's 2 up and 2 down.
Pretty good job by Wright there, because he knows that Seager's a guy that can hurt him at the plate, especially if he's just sitting on his knuckleball the entire time. Throw him something different. Get him thinking about a different pitch. It was an effective pitch for the out, and now it's in the back of the head of Seager that he may see more of those.
Steven has gotten hit his last couple of starts against Detroit and Anaheim, allowing 19 hits and 11 earned runs in his last 9 2/3. So trying to settle down here tonight in LA. Here's Turner. 275 with 19 homers, 64 runs batted in.
Yeah, when you look at some of Wright's numbers lately, he's 9-1 in his last 13 starts, but that doesn't really tell the entire story.
He had a high ERA throughout the month of July, even though he didn't lose. Well, the Dodgers in the same position in the NL West as the Sox are in the American League East. Second place, 2 games back. Dave Roberts getting a lot of credit for this team surviving major injury issues. Among them, the best pitcher in the game, Clayton Kershaw, who could very well be done for the season. May not make it back from a back injury. That's up in the air right now. He does show up to the ballpark, and here he is getting treatment. He's a very well-paid cheerleader.
Just a shame, too, because universally known as one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Oh, I think he's number 1.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that close.
I don't think it is either. Talked to A.J. Ellis, his best friend, and a guy who catches him almost every time he starts. He lovingly said he did it to himself. He works too hard. Said all the beating that he's been taking in his career, even as a young man. Look at the numbers. Even this season was off to an amazing start.
Yeah, these are Pedro Martinez numbers.
Every year.
The 3-2 to Turner. Into right field. Betts on his horse. Can't get it. It's past him on the track up against the fence. Turner churning into second base. He'll stop with a double. He's aboard with a 2-out, 2-base hit in front of Josh Reddick. 25 doubles for Turner. He could really hit.
Yeah, out of nowhere, too. I mean, where would this offense be for the Dodgers over the last couple of seasons without Turner in the lineup? He was just a guy that he was an afterthought, utility guy that they picked up. I think it was from the Mets at the time. The Mets had no use for him anymore. Now he's a flat-out everyday player for them and a budding star.
Sends up Josh Reddick, the cleanup man, acquired from Oakland along with Rich Hill at the trade deadline. Those 2 former Red Sox. They are joined by the manager Dave Roberts, Adrian Gonzalez, Nomar Garciaparra, a Dodger analyst, among others, with Red Sox ties. Quite a few of them. And in for strike 1. Reddick 4 for 6 against Wright in his career. No score in the bottom of the first inning. And the 0-1 will miss.
Reddick in his early Dodger career is hitless. Hasn't been around that long.
Adrian Gonzalez on deck. Certainly having a so-so season by his standards. The power hasn't been there for Gonzalez. High fly ball into right center field. Backing up Betts and Bradley, and Jackie Bradley has it on the warning track. Another big ballpark here on the West Coast. 1 man left, no score. Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. And today the Red Sox made a move. They claimed catcher Brian Holiday off waivers from the Texas Rangers. Here's a look at his numbers. .238 with 2 home runs. How do you see this playing out?
I don't think it's really good news for Mr. Hannigan on this ball club. It's in a severe slump right now. You're picking up another catcher. He's not catching tonight. He generally always catches Stephen Wright.
And Hannigan hitless in his last 20 at bats, and that one right behind Ramirez all the way to the backstop. That one got away.
I hope so.
Just a little bit.
And they looked at him funny, but it wasn't even like, you're not throwing on me. Can't be throwing at me. That's not even close.
And he's like, I've just missed the last couple of games with a bad wrist. I'm coming back to L.A., back to the place I played. Throwing behind me. 323, 3 homers, 13 RBIs against the Dodgers. And the 1-0. Only 278, 14 homers, 62 runs batted in. Jackie Bradley on deck, Aaron Hill after him. Red Sox facing old pal Scott Kazmir. 9-9 lifetime against Boston with a .399 earned run average. He's been with the Angels, Cleveland, Oakland, and Houston since leaving Tampa Bay. He last pitched for the Rays in 2009, so it's been a long time since the Sox saw him on a regular basis. Here comes the 2-1. And the fastball outside.
Would you call that kind of a cool reception that Hanley Ramirez got when he stepped to the plate here in Dodger Stadium?
Kind of a non-reception.
Yeah, not a lot of people jumping up and down, and not a lot of people booing him either. Just another player, I guess.
And the 3-1 inside, and that is ball 4. So Hanley on.
Allen almost hit him.
He's got to be wondering, what did I ever do to Scott Kazmir? So he's aboard in front of Jackie Bradley. Hanley, a member of the Dodgers from 2012 until 2014. 278 games as a Dodger. Hit .299 with 43 home runs. Well, Jackie really trying to battle his way out of a slump. Batting average has taken a hit. He's down to .291. On the road trip, just 5 for 30 with 1 RBI. So he's been chilly. And the first one will miss away for ball 1.
And of course he's looking at a big shift as well, as everybody floods the right side of the field to defend Jackie.
One thing he's been doing, though, is hitting left-handers particularly well. 14 out of his last 38 against lefties. Charging in. The flip now to second, and no return throw, and out at second base will be Hanley Ramirez. Turner actually made the play and got it into second base for the force.
Here's another reason why the shift can give you some problems. Turner couldn't get the ball out of his glove in the first place, and then that's way too far of a throw to flip it. You're never going to get a double play. He obviously at this point thinking, I'm just going to get 1 out. No chance to turn a double. You got to throw that ball if you're thinking to get a double play.
So Bradley becomes the runner at first base. No score in the second inning. Aaron Hill will climb up there. 279 homers, 33 driven in. His batting average has started to go up quickly. Beginning to get some hits. He had one yesterday. He's hit safely in 5 straight. You talked about this, the fact that him getting an opportunity to play on a regular basis. He's changed a couple of things, simplified a few things with his swing. Looks like it's paying off for him.
Yeah, he told me just has a little bit more movement when he's playing every day and feeling really good. He said the only drawback to that in his last few at-bats is when you don't have a lot of movement and you want to get that bat started, sometimes your first movement is to lift that front shoulder. And he says, I'm ducking under some balls and hitting some weak pop-ups on balls that I feel like I should be hitting well. I'm seeing the ball really well.
The numbers I gave you for his season include his National League numbers. 279 home runs. So he's having a decent year. He lines that one into right center field toward the gap for a base hit. Jackie Bradley into third, and Jackie will apply the brakes right there, and so they're safely on the corners. That's a 6-game hitting streak for Hill.
Catcher number 3, Sandy Leon.
Don't see a whole heck of a lot wrong with that swing right there. As he talked about, he's seeing it nicely. Let that ball get in on him and then just smoke it right over the second baseman's head. Look at this. No dip in the shoulder right there at all. Nice line right from his head back through his back leg. That's perfect execution right there. Very simple.
Sandy Leon will bat for the first time, hitting .365 with 3 home runs. Had a key bunt last night in the Red Sox victory, the late inning victory over Seattle. And among hitters with at least 75 at bats, he is #1 in the majors in batting average. And occasionally some pop as well. First and third and 1 down. And inside and low for ball 1.
They always cut that number off at a nice round number, 75 at bats. He's the best batting average. Does he have the best batting average for anybody that has 86 at bats? You know, it's funny how they just round numbers off. They should just say he's having a pretty darn good season. Doesn't get to play every day.
Of course, playing a lot more now as the #1 catcher. Will be the #2 catcher moving forward. It's going to be very interesting. The 1-0. And a lot of that could hinge on just how well he handles Stephen Wright.
I think he'll handle Stephen Wright just fine. Has caught him before. He catches some of his bullpen sessions.
I thought Vasquez did a really nice job with him.
He did. Vasquez really did a nice job. Probably the best of anybody.
Yep. Only 1 out. Red Sox with a scoring opportunity here. And that one ripped into left field. Kendrick has to size it up to make the play. Tagging up Jackie Bradley. He is going to be in to score, and the Red Sox are on the board here in Los Angeles. 1-0. Leon with his 17th RBI.
Dave, you mentioned it. Another big ballpark. The ball will jump off the bat, but it's not going to carry very well at the nighttime here. So maybe at Fenway Park that ball goes off the wall, but not here. It's just a simple sacrifice fly, but the Red Sox will take the run.
Pretty well hit by Sandy. And 1-0 Boston. Red Sox trying to get back to that pattern they set early in the season of scoring first, getting some runs right away. And statistically, the Red Sox are a far superior team when they do that, when they get that first run. This was even true last year, and the Red Sox were not a good club. This year, they are 38-20 when they score the first run. So 18 games over 500. So it does have meaning.
They're a different team.
Kazmir's 1-0. Even last year, finishing last, Red Sox were something like 32 games over 500 when they got the first run.
They're kind of a fair weather aggressive ball club. If they're ahead, they're a very aggressive team. If they're not, they play a pretty conservative brand of baseball.
The 2-0 pitch from the lefty to Bryce Brent's, his first trip to the plate tonight. Bounding ball to Seager. He'll go into second for the force play to retire the side. The Red Sox are on the board. Leon with the RBI and the sacrifice. It's 1-0 Boston. Moment honoring the '86 Red Sox season. Game number 108. The Red Sox would beat the Tigers 8-7. Dwight Evans and Jim Rice combined for 5 RBIs to power the Sox past the Tigers. Red Sox have just taken a 1-0 lead, and Stephen Wright will battle with Gonzalez, Grandal, and Kendrick. That's 5, 6, and 7 for Los Angeles. Dodgers have been a good home team. They're 33-20 here at Dodger Stadium. They've pitched well. Staff ERA ranks 4th in the National League. They play solid defense.
This is a team that does catch the ball. They don't have any problems defensively, but as we've talked about already in the early going here, a little easier to pitch here, especially at nighttime. Pitch to the big part of the park and you'll be fine.
Gonzalez, former Red Sox first baseman, will look at a strike. Look at Adrian's numbers. Overall 284, 9 homers, 51 driven in. Member of the Red Sox for 282 games. There's a lot of talk in his days with Boston that his performance was somewhat underwhelming. Not what was expected. Everyone was thinking more like 40, 45 home runs.
Pretty good his first couple of years, though, wasn't he?
Pretty good. Maybe not what some thought, which was great as he fouls that one away. But he's been a really good hitter and a really good defensive first baseman. I don't think Fenway was particularly appealing to him. Particularly the green monster.
And that's strange too, because he has such a good opposite field stroke when he wants to use it. I think that's what everyone thought when he came there. He would just be hitting balls off the monster, over the monster all day long.
First year with the Red Sox, he had 27 homers. He drove in 117 runs. He also led the American League with 213 hits.
Pretty good.
Next year he hit 300, only 15 home runs with the Red Sox and about 500 at bats.
Yeah, I think that's when it started to go south for him, when, as you said, people were hoping that he'd hit 30 to 40 and he get 15.
The 1-2 from Wright. Went back to the fastball and he got a piece of that. Gonzalez is 1 home run away from 300 for his career. As Monty Grandal on deck, Red Sox ahead 1-0 early. And the 1-2. And he got him. The swing and a miss collected by Leon. He'll have to throw on to get him. That completes the strikeout. First in the book tonight for Stephen Wright. Arbella Insurance Foundation is the proud presenting sponsor of the WEEI Nesson Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon, dedicated to striking out cancer in kids. Arbella donates $50 for every strikeout by a Sox pitcher, up to $1,000. Arbella Insurance Foundation, here for the Jimmy Fund, here for good. And brings up Yasmani Grandal, the catcher, 226. Does have 16 homers. Switch hitter from Havana, Cuba. That knuckleball in there for a strike.
A lot of Dodger fans were surprised when they brought Grandal here a couple seasons ago, but he's really worked out well for them.
There's that knuckleball smile a lot of hitters wear. You know, he's still grinning that that last one was called strike. And the movement on it, and the Bugs Bunny movement.
It's an uncomfortable smile. It's not a happy smile.
Rolls that one foul, and the count 2-2. Howie Kendrick on deck. This is not a powerhouse offense, though. They are 9th in the National League in runs scored. You mentioned the ballpark. It's tough to score here sometimes. 2-2 coming. Waved at and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts by Stephen Wright.
Settling in with that knuckleball, even though he's mixing in an occasional fastball. I like it when he throws that fastball when he's ahead. Gets the opposing team to think about another pitch. I don't like it when he has to throw it when he's behind.
Sox fans looking for the best seats to the biggest games, check out the official Red Sox ticket resale marketplace, RedSoxReplay.com, the best place for season ticket holders to sell their tickets when they can't make it to the game. Howie Kendrick, who for a long time was a member of the Angels, and now a key guy for this Dodger team. .269, 6 homers, but a big leadership guy, they say, in their clubhouse.
And he's been an infielder his entire life, and he's playing a tremendous left field for them.
It's been trouble against the Red Sox. .317 in his career against Boston. That's in there for a strike. Been a good hitter throughout his major league career. Bases empty, 2 down, the 1-2. And he strikes him out to strike out the side. Stephen Wright gets him 1-2-3. 1-0 Red Sox. The Red Sox have the lead. Let's go to Garen Austin.
Thanks, Obi. Well, Dodger Stadium is the only active ballpark in which David Ortiz has not recorded a hit, but he'll have that chance tomorrow. John Farrell announced today that Ortiz will play first base, despite originally saying in spring training that they wanted to keep him off the field. Ortiz has not played first base in about a year, but Farrell said these games have taken on an added importance, and Ortiz made it very clear that he wants to play, and Farrell said if they can get his bat in the lineup, they definitely will. Guys?
Garen, thank you very much. David looks very uptight about it tomorrow. Looks like it's
Scared.
really keeping him awake.
He has to play baseball.
Back to first base after the ceremony today, narrated by Vin Scully. Foul back out of play, and a $10,000 check for David's charity as well for his foundation.
Did I hear that wrong, or did Adrian Gonzalez also donate $10,000 to the charity as well?
He did, as Vin Scully narrated. Indeed, he did. $10,000 from Adrian Gonzalez as well, and that was a very classy gesture. A big swing and a miss, and down goes Stephen Wright. So he fans, and Mookie Betts will be next.
Number 50, Mookie Betts.
How about that quick shot of Vin Scully we just saw right there is something I've never seen before. There's a high fastball right by Stephen Wright. I have never seen Vin without his tie on.
It's a warm night.
It is a warm night.
You're keeping yours on.
He's going cash in his last year.
The heck with it.
Taking it easy.
It's all over. He's going to retire. 67 years.
Yeah.
So why not? He can do whatever he wants.
He always could do whatever he wants.
Mookie with a base hit in the first inning. We're going to sit down and talk with the great Vin Scully tomorrow and give you a chance to see some of that interview throughout the rest of the weekend. 1-0 on the way, and that one torched into left field, driving back Kendrick, still back, and that ball gets out of here. How about that? Mookie Betts with a little extra something there for his 23rd home run of the season. And the Red Sox lead it 2-0. That was ripped.
You talk about a ball that's absolutely walloped right there. We've already talked about it's hard to hit it out of here. That was a line shot. I didn't think it was going to high enough to get out of here. Watch this. And that's a breaking ball, too. Look at this guy catch the ball at the end.
Dustin Pedroia hit into double play first time up. Speedway proud to be New England's first choice for value and convenience. For every Sox homer this season, Speedway donates to Boston Children's Hospital. All summer long, stop at Speedway and get any size fountain drink or frozen drink for just 69 cents. And fouled away by Pedroia.
That guy out there in the stands had the guts to stand in the way of that home run ball and caught it and had so much fun, but then realized that it was the Red Sox that hit it, and he threw it right back onto the field.
After the celebration.
Yeah. He was
over his catch.
Wanted a little recognition there. It was a nice play.
Pedroia hitting .299 with 12 home runs. He scalds that one foul the other way.
You know, Dave, what I really liked about that ball that Mookie hit there is we know he can handle that inside fastball. But that was a breaking ball, slow and out over the plate. He went down and just ripped that thing to left field and out of here.
2 for 2 tonight. I love the shot where when he came over to the Red Sox bench, got a big hug from David Ortiz, but then David very gently took the helmet off his head. Like, I will go put this away for you.
Those guys don't like teammates pounding on their head when they have the helmet off, so they want someone to get that off of their head as soon as they can.
Two and two on Dustin Pedroia. Red Sox out in front 2-0 here in Los Angeles. Xander Bogaerts on deck. Pedroia tonight facing one of his favorite men in Kazmir, but he fouls that one off his foot and in some pain. Let's see where that one got Dustin, but he is hopping and in agony.
This is never any fun. Oof. Kazmir just got inside with that pitch. He's trying to pull his hands in. Did that get him up high on the ankle?
I think it did.
There's nothing in there except bone. You see the foot guard that Petey wears right there. I don't think it came anywhere close to that foot guard. Watch it. See if this gets him right off the ankle. Ooh.
Yeah, a little bit higher than the ankle, perhaps, maybe just above it.
You and I were talking last night on the plane. Andre Ethier, great play for the Dodgers for a number of years, hasn't played all season. We're like, what happened to him? He did that same very thing, spring training. Fouled the ball off his ankle and broke his leg.
Well, Pedroia trying to walk this off. He's had such a fine overall season, offensively and defensively, able to stay away from injury. And remain healthy. He'll continue the at bat, 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out and a run in on a home run by Mookie Betts.
That ankle is still barking at him.
Off the outside, 3-2. That's going to be barking at him probably through November.
For the rest of the year.
Yeah.
and beyond.
He really smoked it. The payoff pitch from Scott Kazmir. And a routine ground ball here to Utley. And he'll get him. So Pedroia 0 for 2. The DraftKings is the official one-day fantasy baseball partner of the Red Sox. Experience the thrill of playing on DraftKings now. Play free daily using the promo code NESSON at DraftKings.com. Red Sox up 2-0. And we'll see if Dustin seeks out any treatment when he can. If there are 2 down, Bogaerts in 0 for 1 with a fly to center. hitting tonight at beautiful Dodger Stadium, which was opened in 1962, seating 56,000 fans. I thought it was a pretty good trivia question. I asked you before the game, how many All-Star games have been played here at Dodger Stadium, and you knew the answer immediately. Just one.
It's crazy.
1980.
This place is the third oldest ballpark in the game now. It's in such beautiful condition. Went through a nice renovation. I mean, you can eat off the floors here. It's so clean all the time.
1-1 to Xander is poked foul on a play.
And if Dodger fans are so happy with the renovations that they did here, they should be, because the renovations were done by the same woman who did the renovations on Fenway Park, Janet Marie Smith. She is amazing at being able to work excellent features into very small places.
Dodger Stadium, like Fenway, is an absolute classic. Dustin is getting attended to. High pop up lifted into right field. Josh Reddick will make that play to retire the side, but Mookie Betts connects. 23 home runs out of the leadoff spot here in the early days of August. 72 RBIs for Mookie, and the Sox are on top 2-0 in LA. Baseball episode of NESN Clubhouse. We visit the Monet Davis exhibit at the Hall of Fame and look at the key differences between baseball and softball. That's Sunday at 5:30 on NESN Clubhouse, presented by Delta Dental of Massachusetts. Red Sox have a 2-0 lead here in the last half of the third inning. Steve Lyons, Dave O'Brien, Garen Austin alongside here from Dodger Stadium. Jock Peterson, the center fielder, hitting .241 with 16 homers to lead it off. Stephen Wright, last inning, struck out Gonzalez, Grandal, and Kendrick in succession.
You know he's settling in when he is able to do that. There's the very painful Dustin Pedroia trying to play second base.
2 balls, 1 strike on Peterson. A couple of years ago in the minors, he caught everybody's attention when he hit 33 home runs. Then as a big leaguer last year, as a rookie, he hit 26.
He got off to such an amazing start. Everyone was saying rookie of the year, no problem. But then in the second half, teams adjusted to him. He started striking out a ton of times. People noticed how big his swing was. They started throwing off speed.
3-1 outside, and he walks him. So Peterson is on to begin the third inning. The Red Sox end of summer family pack is back this year. Special ticket offer. You get free parking, free duck tour ride to and from the park, and a free hot dog and soda with each ticket, courtesy of Aramark. For tickets and more info, visit redsox.com/familypack.
Sox fans representing once again on the West Coast.
And they're pretty boisterous during the David Ortiz ceremony before the game. Here's Kazmir up there to bunt. Hitting .111, no homers and 2 runs batted in.
How did Vin do with that? He emceed the whole thing, introduced Big Papi, did it all.
They did a great job.
Of course he did.
It's phenomenal.
It's Vin Scully.
Works all by himself.
Would you go out on a limb and say he's one of your broadcasting idols?
Bunted toward first base. Ramirez, just one play, lobs to Pedroia to get the out. Peterson into second base. I think any play-by-play man in any sport would say that. I think he's the greatest baseball announcer of all time. He's a modern-day Mark Twain. You talk about the storytelling ability, which is just amazing. And he's invented so many of the phrases, and so many of the great calls in the history of baseball have come from that man. Been at it a long, long time.
Well, you've done a million interviews in your career. You've talked to everybody. You've worked with everybody. I doubt you're awed by many people, but you're going to sit down and talk to him tomorrow.
Yeah, really looking forward to that.
Will you be nervous?
Oh, sure. Sure. Chase Utley 0 for 1. He is flied out to left field. I've got a couple of things I want to ask him about. One of the questions I want to ask Vin Scully is, how much thought have you given to your last broadcast? The last time you sit down at Dodger Stadium behind a microphone, how do you feel you're going to sign off? How do you see that going? The 0-1 pitch is inside on Utley.
You know, the sign off would be something I'm sure that he'd have to think about. I think the rest of the day he won't think anything. I think he shows up, prepares to do his job, and does it every day as if it's the first time he's ever done it.
But 67 years, you have to give that a lot of very serious thought. How are you going to say goodbye to the fans here in Southern California who just absolutely adore him? 1-2 the count.
And I think that he would say that the goodbye is more important to the fans than it is to me. He will work at it. He will do something. He'll come up with something brilliant. But I think he understands that it's way more important to all of us than it is to him.
Peterson on at second. Here comes the 1-2 to Utley. He flies that one pretty well hit into left center field, but Bradley will cruise on over. Peterson tagging will go back to second base. So not trying to advance, and there are 2 away with Seager due up. Time for a twisted but true fact. With his 19th home run of the season last night, Seager tied Hanley Ramirez for the most home runs by a shortstop in Dodger history. Hanley hit 19 with the club in 2013. Franchise mark is 22, set by Glenn Wright in 1930. Twisted Tea is hard iced tea that tastes like real iced tea. Be a little twisted.
My final Vin question for you. Will you impersonate Vin while speaking to Vin?
Absolutely not.
I didn't think so.
Absolutely not.
I think it would be great, though. I think he would love it. I think you won't do it out of respect, but I really believe he would love it. I think the thing about Vin Scully that he doesn't get enough credit for is his sense of humor.
Well, he's the one who came up with a great line. Others have been credited for it, but he was the first one to say it. He was describing Andre Dawson with a knee injury one day. He said, and Andre Dawson, a sore knee is day to day. Aren't we all? And he doesn't get enough credit for that line. One of the funniest lines I've heard a baseball announcer utter is that one is laced foul. Aren't we all? A marvelous guy. I mean, just pure class, and he will be sorely missed.
I think the incredible thing about Vin Scully is that he is the most popular Dodger of all time, and yet never wore a uniform.
Right, that's correct, by fan vote.
I mean, you're talking about a storied franchise, the Dodgers, not only here, but back in Brooklyn. Some amazing, great players. Well, there's one of them. And yet that man right there is by far the most popular and most prevalent Dodger of all time.
You know, when you pull into the ballpark here, you pull onto Vin Scully Way. 2-1 pitch. Downstairs, they've named the press box after him. 3 balls, 1 strike on Seager. Red Sox have the lead 2-0. Go back to 1962 and earlier than that here in Los Angeles. He's been here every day. All the way back to Brooklyn. That one pop foul back out of play. On deck, Justin Turner, who doubled to Wright in the first inning, and then Wright got the next man, Reddick, to fly routinely to center. So far, he's walked 1 man. Peterson edging off second base. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. And a ground ball to Dustin Pedroia. And on to first to retire the side. So nothing doing for the Dodgers. After 3, 2-0 Red Sox. AAA, Dave Dombrowski talks about the Sox decisions at the trade deadline, plus a look back at Andrew Benintendi's Major League debut. And Sunday at 5 only on NESN. Technically not so much his Major League debut, but the next day his first big league start when he had the 2 hits. That was a lot better than the actual big league debut, in which he went 0 for 2.
Yeah. You know, except for you can't change the debut however it comes up. I think a lot of guys talk mostly about their first major league start than the first. I mean, I had 14 at-bats before I first made my major league start, so I had made a debut.
Andy Ramirez walked in the second inning, and the first pitch that Kazmir threw in that at-bat went behind him to the backstop. And then he almost hit him with ball 4.
Get off of me.
Jackie Bradley on deck. Little pop-up, loop toward right down the line, but foul. Gonzalez gave it a look. You're talking about Dodger Stadium and the fact that over 150 million people have seen games in this ballpark. Just incredible. Sandy Koufax tossed the only perfect game here on September 9th, 1965.
Vin called it.
Naturally. Elvis Presley filmed a race car scene at Dodger Stadium for the movie Spin Out, which you talk about all the time as your favorite film.
One of them, yes. Top 5.
It's all done here. Right to the shortstop, Seager. The guns on to get Ramirez, one man away in the Red Sox fourth inning. Right in front of JBJ. Wednesday, August 31 is Lego Day at Fenway. With the purchase of a game ticket, fans receive a limited edition Red Sox themed player made by Lego Bricks. Additionally, you'll be granted access to the kids concourse prior to the game for a special experience. Tickets are limited. Go to redsox.com/Lego to get yours today. Jackie reached on a fielder's choice in the second and scored a run. He was driven in by Sandy Leon. Garrett Austin, you have some history in this ballpark.
I do. In 2004, I competed for Miss USA, and it was in Los Angeles. And so we actually filmed the opening to Miss USA right here in the dugout.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was really a great experience. A little strange to be walking around in a cocktail dress in the dugout, but really great. We actually were able to stand right down here for BP, and the Dodgers played the Angels. It was a really fun, great way to introduce the Miss USA contest that year.
The 1-1 is in there for a call strike. So you've opened up a whole can of worms here. You know that's true.
You guys did a little routine and everything, didn't you?
We did. We kind of like stormed out of the dugout and did like a whole. It was really fun. We actually ended up spending the whole day here. So we were up at all the. I mean, it was just a really fun day. Great way to hang out at the ballpark.
All right. So which state were you representing?
You know, at the time I was. I'm a military. We've talked about this a lot. I'm a military family, yep. So we were living in Nebraska at the time. So I was Miss Nebraska USA.
Miss Nebraska, and how did you do?
Well, I didn't place, unfortunately, but just an incredible experience to represent my state. I was able to do a lot of work with military organizations throughout the year, and just an incredible experience, and really thankful and proud to have it.
Jackie Bradley strikes out there. I can't top that. You can't top that.
She had a speaking part in the video that I saw. There is video. We'll have to come up with that somewhere.
That I wasn't aware of. Okay. This gets more and more interesting. Now Aaron Hill will get in. A base hit first time up. Red Sox have the lead 2-0 here in the top half of the fourth at Dodger Stadium. They're going to overshift. 3 men pulled around to the left side on Hill, who has now hit safely in 6 consecutive games. Dodgers swept a 3-game series here in LA when these teams first met in interleague play way back in 2002, but the Sox have won 7 out of 9 against them since then. Up and over the helmet as he continues to be a little bit wild.
Well, this is not a place you really want to be pitching, but he has to pitch inside. That ball up and in there at 95. In order for that changeup to be effective, he's got to be able to get in on the righties every once in a while. And there it is. He comes right back with that little changeup, just fades away.
He missed with that. 3-0.
Hill's smart enough to spit on it.
Well, Kazmir had not walked anybody in his previous 3 starts. He's already walked 1 man tonight. He drops in a strike at 92 to make it 3-1 on Hill. Sandy Leon on deck. The lefty from Houston fires, and that's a strike. The late call there by Jim Wolf. Wow, took his time on that one. Although oftentimes the umpire will give a verbal cue to the batter that it's a strike. Certainly looked like Hill was on his way to first base.
And it certainly didn't look like a strike.
And the payoff pitch from Kazmir. He left it inside, so he walked it. So 2 free passes by Scott Kazmir.
Walks him on the cut fastball inside. Here's the pitch that got called a strike. Change up down. I would have thought that was ball 4.
Sox with a base runner with 2 down. Leon has driven in a run with a sac fly, which was actually a line drive, a rocket to left field to chase in Jackie Bradley, who tagged up and scored. And Sandy will take a strike.
Poked my head in to talk to John Farrell today in his office, and I said, who's your third catcher in that game last night where you had one catcher out of the game, and then Sandy Leon, he took a long time, took 5 seconds, and then made a face at me like he didn't have one. I said, so that's really why you haven't made that move very often. You don't want the backup guy to break his finger. And he looked at me and said, if Sandy broke his finger, he'd keep catching.
Right.
You know, if you don't have an emergency third catcher, you're in trouble. And that's why many times this season we have not seen him pinch hit for his catcher, because that puts your only backup in the game. And if something happens to him, this team really doesn't have an emergency guy.
With that moment last night, cried for it. I thought it had to be done, even if you were down to your last man catching. 0-2 is outside.
I just thought it was a great answer. I said, so if Sandy breaks his finger, you've got nobody. He said he stays in the game if he breaks his finger.
Put some tape on it.
Spit on it and go.
Red Sox ahead here 2-0 in the 4th inning at Dodger Stadium, with Aaron Hill on at first base, and a 1-2 from Kazmir. High fly ball down the left field line, way back there into the corner, and that ball is gone. Sandy Leon with a 2-run blast, and the Red Sox are in front 4-0 over Kazmir.
Sandy Leon, as a switch hitter and as the right-handed hitter, is a pretty good low ball hitter. He doesn't mind that ball down. He likes the golf pitches. That's just happy zone for him. Might not even been a strike on the inner half. Blasted that thing out of here.
That's a long way. He smashed it down into that corner. Home run number 4 for Sandy. Sends up Bryce Brent, who is 0 for 1 tonight. He drove in a run last night.
Oh, we talk all the time about mistake pitches and balls being left out over the plate. And pitches like that should get hit. I can't really say that that was a bad pitch. It was down and in. It was off the plate. It really wasn't that bad. And it was right where Sandy wanted it.
1-1 on the way. And Bryce Brent won't chase. So the man on deck loving this. Stephen Wright getting some support tonight. And he's really had the knuckleball dancing. Here's the 2-1. Waved at and missed. Kazmir had been pitching really well too coming into tonight. He had a 7-game winning streak recently broken in his last start against Arizona. It's his first loss since the 9th of May.
He has been a quality pitcher for this team. They needed someone like him.
Line drive and a base hit into center field from Bryce Brent. So all of this has happened since he got 2 out. He got Hanley to ground to short. He struck out Jackie Bradley. Then he walked Aaron Hill. The second time he's walked a man tonight after not walking anybody for 3 consecutive starts. And then Leon with the home run, and now the solid base hit by Brent.
Those walks, they come back to kill you somehow.
4-0 Boston. Wright struck out first time up. He loops that one foul. And at the very least, this will turn the lineup over.
Absolutely.
He makes it out here, be out number 3, but Mookie Betts would lead off in the 5th.
I want to see Stephen Wright swing the bat like the college infielder that he was. Keeps telling me he can hit.
On the infield, that one's going to be caught out of the air by Seager to retire the side. But the Red Sox strike for a couple more runs. His second home run tonight. Number 4 for Sandy Leon, and he hit it a ton. A 2-run shot, and the Red Sox lead the Dodgers 4-0. over the Los Angeles Dodgers, but Travis Shaw is now in the game at third base because Aaron Hill has gone over to second base. That means Pedroia is out of the contest after fouling that ball off the high side of the ankle. And as soon as we get information on Petey's condition, we will get it to you. Here's a look at that play again.
It's like right off the inside of that left ankle, not on the foot, up there where the bone is. He was hurting.
So the Red Sox have lost Dustin Pedroia for the rest of the night. Here's Turner to lead off the bottom of the fourth inning. 4-0 Sox. Turner doubled to Wright in the first inning. Now they're calling it a left shin contusion. We just got word on that. Dustin Pedroia day to day. Check swing, but that's in there for a called strike. One ball and 2 strikes on Turner.
Top of the zone strike for Stephen Wright.
That one drops in there for strike 3. So he picks up another strikeout. That'll be his 4th in the game and has had great movement on it. Tomorrow morning at 9, catch an all-new dining playbook. Billy and Jenny check out downtown Providence, Rhode Island. They also throw out the first pitch at a Paw Sox game. Dining playbook on Nesson, driven by New England Chevy dealers. Only 1 hit for the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight. That was the double by Turner. Wright has really bounced back from a couple of rough outings. Here's Reddick again. First time up, he flied to center.
It was warm and sticky, a little humid this afternoon, but LA Knights cool down.
Big swing and a miss. Reddick acquired from the A's along with Rich Hill right at the trade deadline. Rich Hill is going to pitch against the Red Sox on Sunday. He's had a bad blister issue. He's overcome that. There's a swing and a miss and another strikeout. Back-to-back Ks. Time now for a game break, brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Here's Adam Pellerin. Toronto and Baltimore do not lose much. Tied for the AL East lead going into play today is Adrian Gonzalez. He struck out in the second inning. Stephen Wright trying to do here in the fourth what he did in the second and strike him out 1, 2, 3.
Some strange things going on here with the Dodgers, as you just mentioned, with Reddick at the plate. The acquisition of Reddick.
Well hit left center. Jackie Bradley backing up, though. He will run it down with ease, and that retires the side. 1, 2, 3 they go. 4-0 Red Sox. Sox first pitch presented by Joseph Abboud, available at Men's Warehouse. Adam Peller and Jim Rice will look back on the career of Carl Yastrzemski on the anniversary of number 8 being retired at Fenway. Red Sox leading 4-0 fifth inning. And Mookie Betts is halfway to the cycle tonight, a single and a home run. Number 23 in the third off Kazmir. And has now hit safely in 7 in a row. Ranks among major league leaders in hits. He's third. Runs, he's fourth. Doubles, he's third. Extra base hits, he is second. And he is a leadoff hitter.
And he's hit both of Kazmir's best pitches. His fastball for a single, hit his changeup out of the ballpark.
You got a leadoff man leading the league in total bases. Chopper to Seager, and he's going to bobble that. It's going to roll into left field. Misplayed there, and so Mookie is aboard.
That's Seager's 12th error of the season, which isn't too bad for a guy this deep into a season playing shortstop. But you wonder, how long can you go with a 6'4", 220-pound shortstop? Seager eventually, you'd think, become a third baseman. He just lost concentration right there.
So an E6. I think you're right. He's headed for third with that size. And Mookie on board for the third time.
You know, there was a little period of time in the game where the shortstops got bigger when you look at A-Rod and Cal Ripken Jr., some of those bigger guys. But there's no question you're losing a little range with guys that are that big.
Shaw will be next. Ace Ticket is Boston's trusted source for Red Sox tickets with the best seats at the lowest prices. Ace Ticket has the biggest selection from bleachers to boxes. AceTicket.com. Call 1-800-MY-SEATS. So Travis Shaw not initially in the game, but because of the injury to Dustin Pedroia, the contusion to the shin, he's forced into duty. Coming off a nice night last night in Seattle. He was huge in the Red Sox win in extra innings. And he will take a ball. Solo home run in the second last night. He went 2 for 5. He's not had a whole lot of fun in interleague play. Just 11 hits and 67 career interleague at bats, although 6 have gone for extra bases. And is down and in. They did appeal, and that's a swing and a miss.
Ooh.
Says Eric Cooper.
I think Shaw's looking around for someone else to change their mind and say, no, it wasn't.
Can I get a second opinion?
Or third.
Betts on with nobody out, and the 1-1 will not be made. Mookie back in.
Just changes the count so much. Obviously Shaw up there facing a lefty. He struggled a little bit against them, wants to be able to get ahead in the count. Instead of this being a 2-0 count where he might sit dead red and just try to launch, he's looking at 1-1. He's probably going to get that cutter or even the changeup down and in. I don't think Kazmir's afraid to throw changes to left-handers.
A step off and throw, and he dives back in. Would he run with a lefty on the hill?
The toughest part in the running game in interleague is that you don't see the opposing pitchers very often. You're not sure what you're looking at as far as their move. And Grandal can throw.
On running and slap foul. That said, the Red Sox have a very thick book on Scott Kazmir.
But it's been a while. You're right. I mean, they've seen him a lot, but Mookie Betts hasn't. The guys here now that can run haven't really seen Kazmir. And it's kind of like we talked about before. I can see video for a long time. You can tell me this guy does this and this. But unless I see it, I don't really know.
Xander Bogaerts on deck. 4-0 Red Sox here in the 5th. Betts widening out that lead, but not running. And it's popped to the shortstop, and Seager into left field to put that away. So one man gone. MLB.TV. Premium is everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game of all 30 teams in true high definition on over 400 supported devices. Visit MLB.tv for details. Xander next. He has flied out twice, once to center and once to right. He is 1 for 9 in his career against Kazmir.
Kind of look at the road trip for Bogey, and it's been kind of cool. But then you look at his numbers over his last 28 games, and he's hitting .336. That's a month.
7 for 36 on the trip. So there's no question he has scuffled. Although last night looked like he was starting to come out of it when he went 2 for 5.
A couple quick hits in that game.
Wound up with his 40th multi-hit game of the season.
17 3-hit games.
Another throw over. Big hole there on the right side where Bogaerts likes to shoot it through. Red Sox have out-hit Los Angeles 5-1.
I think Gonzalez right now is telling him, don't worry that much. I don't think they really have a good feel for you. I don't think he's going anywhere. You don't have to throw over here. Get the hitter. Now Mookie will go. Setting him up.
Andy Ramirez, the on-deck hitter. And Kazmir to the plate. And shot to Gonzalez. He'll sling it into second. 1 back to first. 2. A double play. Turned by the Dodgers. And so Kazmir pitches around the error by his shortstop. 4-0 Boston. It's a show just for kids who love the game of hockey. Don't miss an all-new episode Sunday afternoon at 1. And to catch up on previous episodes, visit bostonbruins.com/Bruins Academy. Sox in the lead at the midway point here, 4-0 over the Dodgers. First of a 3-game series. This is the end of the road. These 3 games, the end of an 11-game swing out west. Sox right now 4-4 on it. Rondal leading things off. He whiffed in the second inning. One of 3 consecutive strikeouts by Stephen Wright, who to this point has been outstanding. He's allowed only 1 hit. In there for a strike.
He just settles in, and it's just so easy. You take comfortable 0 for 4s when you face him.
I pop toward left, and Shaw ranging toward the seats, but that's into the boxes. talking a little bit about Dodger Stadium tonight and the layout here, which is very, very unique and very accessible for fans. The way it was designed so that each of the 9 levels of the ballpark, 9 different levels here, they have entries that are kind of built into the hillside with parking located to access each level.
Yep.
So you don't have to walk very far. I mean, there's acres and acres of parking here, but if you know where you're sitting, it's a very short walk.
Yes, if you have an idea of where your ticket is, you can park near it.
Ground ball there to Hill, who's now playing second base, and a lob on to get Grandal for the out. Now, do you prefer watching videos instead of reading your sports news? Be sure to subscribe to NESN on YouTube to keep up with all the latest on the Sox, the Bruins, the Pats, the Celts, and beyond. Visit youtube.com/NESN today. They also built this ballpark as Howie Kendrick gets in. He struck out first time up. So that if you go back to get a soda or beer or a hot dog, whatever, you can watch the game. You're not blocked by rows of seating or concrete pillars or anything. You can stand back there. You can stand in line. You might be waiting 20 minutes or whatever, but you can watch every single pitch. It's a great view.
And they've really tried to alleviate the lines too, because there was a time here at Dodger Stadium where you were waiting a long time to get a hot dog or a long time to use the restroom. They've changed it.
0-1 Luke foul by Kendrick.
Again, that comes back to Janet Marie Smith, who was the architect behind the entire changes, who also did Fenway Park. I noticed Janet Marie Smith was sitting with Dan Shaughnessy earlier tonight watching some of the game.
Bases empty, 1 down, the 0-2 to Kendrick. Fly ball to right. Mookie Betts there near the line. 2 up and 2 down. There's 8 straight retired by Wright. He is mowing them down right now. 2 fast outs. Jock Peterson next. Tomorrow the Red Sox will be playing in the afternoon, 4:05 Eastern time. Eduardo Rodriguez on the hill. David Price will go on Sunday, a slightly later start time, which will be 4 o'clock here, 7 o'clock back home. Price goes in 9-7 with a 4.30 ERA. And that'll be up against Rich Hill, the Massachusetts native. Dr. Rich tonight after being traded from Oakland here to the Dodgers. Very excited about pitching on Sunday. Said there are no issues right now at that blister. I said, did you ever think as a Mass boy you'd be pitching 3,000 miles away in Los Angeles? And of course he pitched for Oakland, but coming to LA and Dodger Stadium and all of that, he said, no, I really never did.
Oakland's no LA.
That's right. It's a big difference.
The funny thing is he'd probably rather be pitching back in New England.
Inside a ball on Peterson. Peterson's a local kid. He's out of California. Taking on another local guy in Stephen Wright, who was born 25 miles southwest of Dodger Stadium. Two balls, 2 strikes on Peterson. Sox got a run in the second, a run in the third, 2 in the 4th inning. They've hit 2 home runs this evening. The first by Mookie Betts, the second by Sandy Leon.
Jock Peterson's father, Stu, played in the big leagues as a pitcher for just a little while.
And that's in there for strike 3. Caught him looking. Another K for Wright. He gets him 1-2-3 in the 5th. We'll preview Eduardo Rodriguez start tomorrow against the Dodgers. DCU is Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Rodriguez will go in 2-4, a .591 earned run average. Hanley Ramirez to start the 6th inning. Hanley tonight with a walk and a tapper to short.
You got to figure Hanley wanted back in the lineup here. Used to play here for the Dodgers. You know that wrist isn't 100%. Given the fact that Big Papi not in the lineup, Hanley had to get his bat back in here.
He was traded from the Marlins to the Dodgers in 2012. First full season with LA was 2013. He hit .345, an injury shortened season. Next year he hit .283 with 13 home runs. The 1-1. He was a shortstop then.
Yeah. An aging shortstop. Lost most of his range. There was a period of time that season when they brought Yasiel Puig up in 2013 and Hanley Ramirez came off of the DL. As two teammates, I never saw two guys hit the ball harder, more consistently for more than a month and a half.
Popped him up. Utley, the second baseman, makes that catch for the out, and Hanley's 0 for 2.
The Dodgers during that time went 42-8.
They get expert emergency care without leaving the ballpark at the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center First Aid Station at Fenway. That's behind Section 12 in the lower concourse. Visit bidmc.org.
And now Yasiel Puig's in the minor leagues. How about that?
A world of talent, but mercurial, to put it mildly, as Jackie Bradley hits. He's hit into a fielder's choice. He's also struck out tonight, 0 for 2. But he has scored a run when he reached in the second inning. I really wonder about Puig long term.
So did I. The Dodgers bringing in Josh Reddick. So now, hey, they get rid of Puig, send him down to the minor leagues. Got a little bit tired of dealing with his lackluster attitude. Didn't try to get better. Was dismissing the coaching staff all the time. And he wasn't in very good shape, which would amaze you.
And yet could still do some incredible things. When he first came up, and the Dodgers may well have rushed him to the big leagues, when he did come up, tore the cover off the ball, he was throwing people out from the warning track, he was dazzling. But there were a lot of fundamental parts of the game that he was missing. And that one is up and in for ball 4, so Jackie Bradley is aboard with 1 down. Terrific talent there at Puig, but that might be a classic case of a change in scenery and a whole new organization to kind of get a hold of him and teach him some of the things he obviously did not learn before he got here.
I think this organization certainly gave him the opportunity to learn those things. I think it was a stubbornness. But just to think of him being out of shape, this guy was just like one big muscle.
1 out, 1 on for Hill. He was moved from third base over to second base after Dustin Pedroia hammered a foul ball off his shin. And is now day to day. Hill with a base hit, a walk and a run tonight. Pretty decent career numbers against Kazmir in his career, 12 for 37. He asks for time and gets it. Red Sox are ahead here 4-0. We're into the 6th inning. There's a beach ball loose down the left field line.
Only in LA. Sometimes in San Diego.
What do you mean? We see him at Fenway all the time. What are you talking about?
But not in the same regard.
I don't even know what that means. A beach ball's a beach ball. What are you talking about?
Didn't roll in from the beach though in Boston.
It could. That one knocks him down. Tell you what, Kazmir has been wild tonight. He's walked 3 men and he's almost hit 2 more.
He's really kind of hooking that fastball in on right-handed hitters, getting it way off the plate inside. That's not really where he wants to be. I think a lot of lefties will tell you, if I'm going to miss, I'd rather miss in there than let that thing leak a little bit.
They get bullpen activity. Josh Fields starting to throw in their bullpen. Jackie Bradley at first base. Kazmir had been very sharp over his previous 9 or 10 starts, but his game has been off tonight. The Red Sox have capitalized, including with a couple of home runs, one of those after a ball 4. And another 3-ball count. Now the big ballpark with a lot of fans in it tonight, but they have been pretty quiet because of the Red Sox bats and Stephen Wright, who has allowed Los Angeles 1 hit. He's taking, and that's ball 4. He's walked another man. Back-to-back walks. Scott Kazmir's pitching line brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. It has not been pretty tonight. He's walked 4. He's allowed 2 home runs. And now Sandy Leon, who's already taken him out of the ballpark, about to step up. And Sandy hit it a long way in the 4th inning. He tagged it down the left field line.
So many good things about that swing. Rick Honeycutt, pitching coach for the Dodgers, on the phone down to the bullpen. It's going to be it.
Here he comes. Here comes Roberts. Dave Roberts, always be in Red Sox hearts forever and ever, takes the ball away from his Dodger starter. They're going to bring on Fields. We have a pitching change as the Red Sox are trying to build another scoring threat here in the 6th inning, and we'll have more in a moment.
Number 46.
Nothing lead. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Kia. Josh Fields, the right-hander, just made his Dodger debut with a scoreless inning last night after being acquired from Houston on Monday in exchange for a minor leaguer. He's out of the University of Georgia and inherits first and second with 1 down. Sandy Leon will bat lefty. He has driven in 3 runs tonight for the Red Sox, and he continues to hit. That's usually the case. When he does get 1 hit, he gets 2 or 3. He has big nights.
Throws up big numbers. It's hard to have a high average unless you're getting multiple hit games. He's just been a huge surprise for this team and a breath of fresh air.
And a 1-0. zipped in there for a called strike at 94.
Here's a home run in the 4th inning. He did so many things well. This is a cut fastball down and in. Look at him clear that hips. Clear both of the hips out of the way so that he can get the bat head to the ball, because look how far out in front of the plate he hit it. That's a tough one to keep fair, but he was able to do it. Here's the tail of the tape. Still going, still going. 383 feet away.
Down and in. So along with the 2-run homer, he has another RBI and a sacrifice that he ripped to left field. That was a wicked line drive to drive in a run. I played at Jackie Bradley. Jackie's now on at second. Aaron Hill on at first. And one away here in the 6th. Red Sox have really taken the crowd out of it here in L.A. 2-1. Another one hit hard. Backhanded by Gonzalez. Always very smooth. Down to second one. Back to first. In time for the double play with Fields covering. Red Sox have hit in a couple of those tonight. Nothing doing here in the 6th inning. 4-0 Boston. It shows big-time appreciation to loyal fans with great offers and perks, like a free beverage when you join another on your birthday. Enroll today at ddperks.com or on the Dunkin' Donuts mobile app. The Red Sox run on Dunkin'. David Ortiz not in the lineup tonight. He will play first base tomorrow. John Farrell announcing that before the game.
Maybe she can bring the sign back.
I think she might.
The big head of David.
Scott Van Slyke will pinch hit now and will bat in the pitcher spot after Kazmir was knocked out of the game. He'll be followed by Chase Utley and then Corey Seager. Red Sox ahead 4-0 in the 6th inning. Softly tapped. Here comes Shaw to gobble it up and get him. A nice play by Travis Shaw just into the game a couple innings ago. CVS Health is proud to support Stand Up to Cancer. We invite you to share your hashtag reasons to stand up by posting a photo or video of why you stand up to cancer and tag @CVS in action. So one away as Wright continues to pitch brilliantly tonight. He has allowed the Dodgers one hit. Chase Utley doesn't have it. He is flied to left and to center. Jesse Chavez now throwing in the bullpen for the Dodgers.
Utley wants to see the ball. Say it's fine. They threw it back.
Utley signed as a free agent with the Dodgers after playing 34 games with them last year. He pops that a mile into short right field. On comes Mookie Betts for the grab. 2 fast outs. Wright is making this look very, very easy.
When he's on, it usually does. It's the toughest part of Stephen Wright's game when he's throwing the ball well is the catcher catching it.
He has set down 11 straight. These guys may have the night off. They're looking like they're enjoying it. Sox bullpen, a big cut and a miss by Seager. He got all twisted up. He has flied to left and tapped to second.
I was talking to Turner Ward before the game, the hitting instructor here with the Dodgers now, and he said that he kind of looks at Seager and thinks of John Olerud.
Yeah,
he used to hit.
Similar build too. Kind of wiry.
Olerud was an excellent hitter. There's a good look at Turner Ward. Used to be with the Arizona Diamondbacks. In fact, the Dodgers and Diamondbacks got into a huge fight, and he was right in the middle of it one year. Now he's working over here. What do you do? Shake hands and say, "I'm sorry, I punched you right there in the mouth a couple of years ago."
All is forgotten. It didn't hurt, did it?
No.
You didn't have to see the dentist, did you? Those are your originals. 1-2 on the way to Seager. He thought about chasing it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
But Olerud was an amazing hitter, used the entire field. It was gap to gap, had home run power. I can see the similarities there.
He's a real line drive guy. Really put the bat on it. The 2-2 fouled at home plate.
Dave Roberts was talking about facing Stephen Wright before the game. He said, you know, I don't know how to hit him, and it's the old adage, if it's high, let it fly. And Stephen Wright is a little bit of a different kind of knuckleballer in the sense that he loves you to swing at that high knuckleball because he still feels like he gets great movement when it's up.
2-2. Ground ball to the shortstop, right behind the bag, Xander Bogaerts. That'll do it. They go 1-2-3, and it's 12 in a row retired by Stephen Wright here in L.A. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, and nothing to hide. Steve Lyons, Dave O'Brien, Garen Austin from Dodger Stadium. Red Sox right now in command of this thing the way Stephen Wright is pitching. Red Sox have actually been getting very good pitching on this road swing, although they're only 4-4. Jesse Chavez coming out of the bullpen, made his Dodger debut with a scoreless inning last night. He was just acquired from Toronto.
Half the players that have played this game weren't here 3 days ago.
And Brock Holt will bat here for Bryce Brents. So John Farrell will go to his bench. Brock had the game-winning hit in extra innings last night in Seattle on a base hit up the middle, kind of a seeing-eye single to chase in what turned out to be the winning run, and the Sox would split the series 2 games apiece. Red Sox are going to have to win tonight so as not to lose any ground. There's a looper, but caught by Seager. So 1 away here in the 7th inning. Sox came into play 2 games behind both Baltimore and Toronto in the division, and both the Orioles and the Blue Jays have won.
Are you a little surprised there? And you look at John Farrell and the moves he makes there. Obviously, no second guessing here, because I have no problem with Brock Holt going there. But if you're thinking the platoon situation in left field is going to be Benintendi and Bryce Brents, why did Andrew not get that pinch hit opportunity there?
Yep.
John Farrell will have a legitimate answer for it, no question. And as I said, I have no problem with Brock Holt coming to the plate. I love his at-bats and what he gives this ball club.
Now 0 for 1 tonight. Stephen Wright's gone 0 for 2. He has struck out and he has hit a soft line drive to short. He's also held the Dodgers to 1 hit. Here comes the 0-2. And down he goes. A cut and a miss, strike 3 on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Chavez.
I will be all over Stephen Wright later today. He told me he could hit.
Did he say he could hit or I could swing the bat?
He said he could hit.
Because there is a significant difference.
A lot of guys can go up there and swing it. Sort of. This guy can swing it, and this guy can hit.
He's done it tonight with a single and a home run. His 23rd blast of the season in the 3rd. He's also reached on an error. Red Sox ahead 4-0 in game 1 here in Los Angeles.
Dodgers sort of play a modified shift on Mookie Betts. Left side of the infield's pinched towards the line.
Fly ball right field. It hangs up for Reddick. And the Red Sox will go fast here in the 7th inning. 1-2-3, still ahead 4-0 over the Dodgers. Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. BuyAToyota.com, Toyota's website for deals, and by your New England Audi dealers. Last half of the 7th inning, Red Sox up 4-0. Stephen Wright's pitching line is brought to you by Ace Ticket. Through 6, just superb. 1 hit, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. He has retired 12 straight.
It's a thing of beauty right there. Goodness. So effective, just throwing the pitch he loves to throw up there.
Brock Holt taking over left field for Bryce Brents after hitting for Bryce. So into his 7th inning, Wright in control. He's gotten this man, Justin Turner, on a strikeout, but Turner also has their only hit on a double in the first inning. That pops out of the mid of Leon to make it 2-0. The only walk was Peterson way back in the third. A victory tonight for Wright would be his 13th. It would improve his record to 13-5. The 2-0 pitch in there for a called strike. Right at the bottom of the zone at 82, so the fastball. Steven working fast. And that's going to be up and in to make it 3-1. Josh Reddick on deck, and then Adrian Gonzalez. He's 3-1. Foul back to the netting.
Coming into the series, there was a bunch of TBAs on the pitching staff and who was going to start for the Dodgers. I believe Ross Stripling's now going to make the start tomorrow, and you wonder. John Farrell does an excellent job of getting all his guys playing time. Maybe Brock Holt's in that game today and makes the pinch hit appearance now in left field, because Andrew Benintendi probably make the start tomorrow.
Check swing and in there for strike 3. Came back to get him from a 3-1 count, and he fans him.
Right fielder number 11, Josh Reddick.
Turner may have disagreed, but he is out on strikes for the second time.
Sticking with the knuckler. That's nothing but a strike right there.
7th strikeout for Wright. He's retired 13 in a row. And now Reddick will take ball 1. Reddick has flied to center, and he has whiffed. He's now 4 for 8 lifetime against the knuckleballer. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tim Wakefield will tell you that the reason it's called a knuckleball is because that's what the hitter sees when it comes off the fingertips. That's why they call it a knuckleball.
Instead of a fingertip ball?
Well, some would say, well, isn't it thrown with the knuckles? It's not.
Nope.
Right off the fingernails. 2-1. Tomorrow afternoon, game 2 at 4:05, and then on Sunday at 7:10, the finale of the road trip. The end of an 11-game West Coast trip for the Red Sox. At the moment, they're 4-4. And just a must that the Red Sox come through this trip with a winning record.
Yeah, I think when they left to go on this 11-game trip, they figured going on the road is hard, and it's 11 games in 11 days, but you're playing against teams that you have a chance to beat and should beat on a semi-consistent basis, and they've split both series so far.
2-2 to Reddick, former member of the Red Sox, outside for ball 3.
I think it was universally thought of that this would be the toughest series here coming in to play the Dodgers.
Here's the payoff pitch, and that's in there for strike 3. Back-to-back Ks, and 14 straight retired by Wright.
First baseman number 23, Adrian Gonzalez.
Wow. And these hitters just don't know what to do. I don't think they're really complaining that those pitches are being called strikes. I think they're just saying, how am I supposed to hit it? It doesn't look like a strike when I would try to hit it.
No, there was no complaint there from Reddick. He just walked away. Here's Gonzalez, who's had a tough time tonight with a strikeout and fly to center. And Wright is on the verge of doing what he did in the 3rd inning when he struck out the side. Trying to do it for the 2nd time here in the 7th. High fly, well struck to left. Holt backing up on the track. There to leap up and make the play and retire the side. 15 straight set down by Stephen Wright, the All-Star. People's United Bank. Steve will see what topics people can vote on to hear you talk about on NESN Sports Today. Bet's big night, Sandy Leon's home run, or Wright looking dominant. Text us your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. Travis Shaw will lead off the 8th inning. Red Sox head 4-0 in Los Angeles. His second at bat, he popped up the first time. Did not start tonight. He came on when Pedroia came out of the game after Dustin fouled one off, and that one ripped down the line into the corner and gone in a heartbeat. That was out of here very quickly. Travis Shaw with a bullet right down into the bullpen to make it 5-0. The Red Sox with their 3rd home run tonight.
It's a little bit like the reverse view of Mookie Betts' home run. The right-hand side, he blistered one down the left field line, and now Shaw from the left-handed hitter's box just smokes this ball down the right field line. They're making this ballpark look small. Very hittable fastball out over for Travis Shaw. He's loving that pitch.
Travis Shaw smoking that one for his 14th home run of the year, his 58th RBI. Mookie Betts and Sandy Leon also had home runs this evening. No hits yet for Xander Bogaerts. He's gone 0 for 3 until right at that moment, a base hit to center. So the Red Sox with back-to-back hits here in the 8th inning. And for more on Travis Shaw, let's toss it down to Guerin.
Of Shaw, when he was 11 years old, that was the last time he was here at Dodger Stadium. Shaw said it is so cool to be back because this is really where he fell in love with baseball. He said, guys, that the Dodgers have always had a great organization. He's so appreciative that he was allowed to be here with his dad. He said he was in the clubhouse, he took BP with him, and he said his dad is not able to be here, but he's definitely watching. And obviously, guys, this is a lot of luck for Travis here tonight.
It's a great shot of little Travis.
Got a little bigger, didn't he?
Got a lot bigger. He grew up.
Because Jeff Shaw's not a big guy, his dad.
Hanley Ramirez with a runner at first base and nobody out. Hanley has walked, rounded to short, and popped up to second. Red Sox leading 5-0 in the 8th. And looking more and more like a complete game kind of night for Stephen Wright. Down low for a ball. Red Sox have been getting, not in every start on this road swing, but in a lot of them, really fine pitching. Starting pitching.
Talked a lot about that in the open of the show tonight, about how good the pitching has been. Coming in tonight, an ERA of around 2.7. That should get you a lot of wins, but the offense hadn't been there so far in this trip.
5 runs, 7 hits for the Sox tonight. 3 of them over the fence. No runs, 1 hit for Los Angeles. Eduardo Rodriguez goes tomorrow. He has a lot to live up to tomorrow, but he certainly has been better on the mound. Next one is cut on and missed by Hanley. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Red Sox still leading the majors in runs scored. Also leading the majors in doubles, batting average, on base percentage, slugging percentage, and OPS. But on this road trip, they had only been averaging 3 runs a game. So in fact, they've wasted a couple of those outstanding starts. Cut on and miss. Down goes Hanley. 0 for 3 in his return to the lineup tonight. It's the first out in the Boston 8th.
I think this team keeps teasing you with how good they can be when they put everything together. Earlier in the season, when they were scoring a ton of runs, they had big pitching problems. Now they don't have much of a pitching problem. It's kind of shored up. They look pretty good, and the offense hasn't quite been there the way it was earlier.
Of course, the Sox now have Craig Kimbrell back. He was brilliant last night. Got on a miss by Jackie Bradley, who's gone 0 for 2 with a run. He's also taken ball 4 this evening. I think Brad Ziegler has had such a calming effect on things too. He's like a warm blanket when he comes in the game. Settles everything down.
Excellent job by him last night.
He's just one of those guys whose heart rate doesn't get out of control.
Slow heartbeat.
0-1 outside.
Doesn't get too excited. He's been around a long time. He's got a lot to offer knowledge-wise.
Aaron Hill on deck. Red Sox up 5-0. Trying to take game 1 of this 3-game series against the National League. National League's been good for the Sox over the years. A little trickler foul off first base. And this season the Red Sox are 8-3 against the NL. Boston playing a lot of games though in a lot of days. As of Sunday it'll be 20 games in 20 days without a day off. And then finally a day off back in Boston before a homestand against the Yankees in Arizona. Then the Sox are right back on the road for another lengthy trip to Cleveland, Baltimore, Detroit, and Tampa Bay.
4 cities.
Scalded into right field for a base hit. Xander Bogaerts on his way to third. Reddick up and gunning. He's not going to get him. And that allows Jackie Bradley to take an extra base. He gets down to second on what should have been nothing more than a single.
Good hustle by Bogey to go to third. There's no real cutoff man here that's going to be hit by this throw in from Reddick. Bogey decides right there, I'm going to go. Now you're probably not going to get him, so there's no one there for the cutoff man. Everybody's standing at second base because of the shift. Third baseman has to hustle back just to cover his position, but you're not going to get him there.
So now the infield is in. Hill has a chance to drive in a couple of runs instead of just one. Reddick has a very strong arm, but you wonder about the sense of throwing on to third base there.
Right. Not getting him, and that lets Jackie Bradley go up. You know, have you noticed I'm kind of down on the shift lately? I mean, I think it causes more problems for you than it's worth. They didn't have anybody who was supposed to be the cutoff man. The third baseman had to scamper back to his position at third base in case you might have been able to throw a guy out. And then the throw goes in there, and that just allowed Jackie to walk into second.
Well, they're going to put him on when the count got to 2-0 and now 3-0 on Hill. They will intentionally walk him. So Aaron Hill will reach base for the 4th time. This will be his 3rd walk along with a single tonight.
You know, Dave, in a game like this where it feels comfortable, 5-0, bases loaded again, maybe that play doesn't make that much difference. But what if it's a 1-run game and that same thing happens?
Sure, and the Red Sox have already had a game on this road trip where it was looking real comfortable. They were up 4-0 in the 8th inning and lost that game.
And I don't even want to think about that one anymore. But it happened.
That'll bring up Sandy Leon. Red Sox can bust it wide open with a big hit here from Sandy, and he's already driven in 3 runs tonight. 2-run homer and a sac fly to plate another one. He has hit into a double play as well, and that's what the Dodgers are looking for. 5 runs, 8 hits for Boston. No runs on 1 hit for the Dodgers. No place to put Sandy. The bases are loaded here in the 8th. Chavez in trouble. And the 1-0. He drills in a fastball for a strike. Bogaerts over at third. Bradley is second. And Hill, who just took the intentional pass, on at first. Sandy Leon's career high for a single game in RBIs is 4. Base hit here, and he could exceed that.
Sandy could put a final nail in the coffin here in this ball game, you would think.
The 1-1. Fly ball, well hit, right center field deep. Peterson back. It's off the wall. Here comes Bogaerts in to score. Bradley will be held. Leon's got to scamper back to first base. And the Red Sox only get 1 run out of that. On a line drive to center field. Xander Bogaerts was very conservative on that. Jackie Bradley wound up only as far as third base. Some of the Red Sox believe that ball might be caught, but it is 6-0.
Well, that's what the base runners thought, that ball might be caught, but we talked about it. The ball doesn't carry that well here. Sandy hits that one pretty good. They're thinking that Peterson may be able to catch up with this ball. So Jackie's actually going back to tag. He doesn't get a good read on it. Now he can't score. Hill stops. Leon was all the way to second base. He had to come back to first. That was Keystone Cops out there for a little while.
A couple of odd reads by the Red Sox.
But no one got caught off base anywhere. 4
RBIs, tying a career high for Sandy Leon. Jackie Bradley staying put at third base. Here comes Dave Roberts as Brock Holt was preparing to hit. Sandy Leon with a big night again. As we said earlier, doesn't do it small when he does it.
No. The only guy that had the good read was Hill. He stopped at second, and Sandy's like, what? But there's nobody around to get him because a first baseman has to be involved in the play as a cutoff guy.
But from up here, it looked like that was going to be a 3-run double to me.
Yeah.
But down there, it didn't look quite so clear. 6-0. Red Sox leading it. Dodgers go to the bullpen, and we'll have more in a moment. Southwest Airlines fan transparency, low fares, and nothing to hide. Now the Red Sox with a 6-0 lead probably ought to be more like 8-0. But here comes the new pitcher, and that'll be Howell out of their bullpen, the left-hander. He's been fairly tough in recent appearances. He's tossed scoreless relief in 17 out of 19 games. Brock Holt batting with the bases loaded and 1 down. Howell's been around a while.
Yeah. Yes, I like J.P. Howell. He's got good stuff. He's a typical lefty on lefty type of pitcher, though. Likes to get ahead in the count, and then he's going to just keep throwing breaking balls in the dirt and try to get you to chase him.
Absolutely one of the slowest workers in the game. He's a human rain delay. And that's going to miss, and does not throw hard. 83 miles an hour.
Yeah, when you go back to that play that we're figuring we're scoring more runs, but the toughest read out there is for Jackie Bradley Jr. The ball gets smoked straight over his head. He knows that Peterson can run that thing down, and if he does, he's got to be able to tag and move up. So he's headed back to tag, and when it drops, he's in an area where he couldn't really score from there.
Check swing. Did he offer? They appeal no.
Hill's running right up his back. Bogey's already gone. Bradley's thinking, I got to move up now. Hill really slowed that whole thing down by making the stop at second. If he had gone on the third, Bradley would have had no chance, but to try to score, might have gotten thrown out after he stopped.
So Bradley at third base, Aaron Hill at second base, and Sandy Leon after another RBI, which went 395 feet. He wound up with a single. Is on at first. And the 2-1. He watches that one go for a ball. Give you the high third look on Sandy Leon on that hit to dead center field.
Sandy Leon, he thinks it's going to be a double. There you see Bradley in the middle there. He's going back to second, so he's in trouble now. Leon's coming around thinking, I got a sure double. Oops, wait a minute, there's someone there. As we talked about before, there's no one really to get him out, so he just easily gets back to first.
3-1 ground ball, second baseman bobbles it. It rolls right into center. 1 run in. Bradley scores. Here comes Hill. Utley butchered that. The Red Sox had 2 more to lead it 8-0. Boy, that had double play written all over it. And the Red Sox get those runs in eventually. 8-zip Boston.
Something you don't see Utley do very often. It looked like he just hurried himself through this double play. Wanted to flip it on to second before he actually caught it. I don't know why he was so worried about being quick on this play. Brock Holt runs well, but that was just made to order double play easy.
So the veteran with an error. They're on at first and third, and Stephen Wright, who now has an 8-0 lead, will hit for himself. The Red Sox have every intention of Stephen going all the way tonight as he taps that one foul. He's already done it on the road several times where he's racked up a complete game. And the lefty with the 0-1. That's in for a called strike. Stephen Wright, one of 6 major leaguers this season with at least 3 complete games. Johnny Cueto, Chris Sale, Corey Kluber, Clayton Kershaw, and Madison Bumgarner, along with Stephen Wright. He keeps good company. And swung on and missed. Down he goes, strike 3. So 2 away. Red Sox with a 4-run 8th so far. And the batter will be Mookie Betts. Mookie just now reaching the batting circle. There was a time many years ago where the walk at Dodger Stadium from the dugout to home plate would take about 20 minutes. It would be a short cab ride. They have moved in a lot of the seating in the subsequent years, so it's actually much tighter. And they've taken away a lot of the foul ground that used to be in play here. There used to be miles of that.
Added a lot more high dollar seats. Changed the configuration of the dugout. Developed the dugout club underneath the seats and behind home plate.
Good night for Mookie again. He's gone 2 for 4 with a home run. He could pick up another RBI with a base hit here. Sandy Leon at third. Brock Holt aboard after the error. And the 1-0. That'll miss.
How about the third inning? A missile on a changeup. This ball got out of there in a heartbeat. The guy caught it, realized that it wasn't his team that hit it, so he said, maybe I should throw that ball back on the field. Mookie was happy about it.
2-0. That one slammed toward the alley. Nobody out there. That drops down for a base hit. Leon will score. Brock Holt to third base, and the Red Sox are up 9-0. Second RBI tonight for Mookie Betts, who has driven in 73 runs.
A nice play out there by Josh Reddick. Actually prevented an extra run from being scored. That would have been another RBI for Mookie. Just ridiculous hitting by Mookie. Throw him in, he crushes the ball. You throw him away, he hammers it the other way. You see it from straight. It's a lot of fun to watch, isn't it?
He's been a lot of fun to watch all season long. What a year he's having. Red Sox have batted around. This inning started with a rocket into the bullpen down the right field line by Travis Shaw, his 14th home run of the year. And the Red Sox off to the races. They've scored 5 times in the 8th inning. And may not be done. Trying to get to double figures tonight. 1-0. A chopper on the infield. Gonzalez has to flip to the pitcher. Howell gets there for the out. That retires the side, but the Red Sox blow up for 5. And now have a 9-0 lead here at Dodger Stadium going to the bottom of the 8th inning. Stephen Wright has been tremendous. He's allowed 1 hit in 7 innings. Sandy Leon with a 4 RBI night to match his career high. Mookie Betts 3 for 5. Home run number 23. He's driven in 2. And Wright back out there trying to make it 16 straight retired. He has Andrew Benintendi behind him now in center field. So John Farrell makes that move to bring on the youngster. Made his big league debut and got his first major league start in Seattle.
That is his natural position, center field. He's got a guy named Jackie Bradley Jr. in front of him.
So it looks like Mr. Price is at work making sure that the positions are all set accordingly. It's Brock Holt in left, Benintendi in center, Betts still in right, Shaw at third, Bogarts at short, Hill is at second with Ramirez at first, and Leon doing the catching. That one ripped into right field for a base hit. So Grandal is on with a single. He is now 1 for 3. That's just the second hit all night against Wright, who had set down 15 in a row.
Sounded a little bit like a Bronx cheer when he got the hit. Just the second one of the night.
Sends up Howie Kendrick, a strikeout victim. He's also flied to right field. Former Angel, now 33 years old. Baltimore won. They beat the White Sox 7-5. Detroit won as well. They snuck by the Mets 4-3. Toronto beat Kansas City 4-3. A lot of low-scoring, close games tonight. This is not one of them. Red Sox with a commanding 9-0 lead. High fly right center field, not deep. Benintendi coming on Betts as well. Mookie will take it. One away in the bottom of the 8th.
Fielder, number 31.
If the Red Sox win this game, they will be 3-2 in the month of August. I think if you ask the Red Sox right now, would they take 5 games over 500 in the month of August, which is something they accomplished in July, would they take it right now? I bet every one of them would say yes.
Yeah, I guess, but I think they want more. I think, in order to make a run at this division, you're going to have to play better than what you think. You can't just be a 5-game over 500 team after 30 games.
That one inside and hit him.
He didn't try to get out of the way.
He did not. They're going to keep him right there.
Second time we've seen that on this trip.
Peterson will not be given. And it also happened the other day when Wright was pitching in Anaheim. It's the second time on the trip. I mean, you can go 5 years without seeing it happen once, but Jim Wolf says no to Peterson. He did not attempt to get out of the way.
Even worse, he moved into this. Watch him move his leg right into it. And yep, I want to get hit with it.
It's a good call by the umpire.
Wow.
We're in Hollywood. If you're going to try to act, I mean, you've got to do better than that.
B-rate.
So no hit batsman. It's going to be right through there for a strike at 81.
Well, look where Peterson is standing. I mean, you cannot be any closer to home plate than he is. He's on top of it. That's why he was trying to get hit with that pitch.
1-1, a chopper on the infield. Hill sideways flip for one on the first and not in time. No double play. Fielder's choice gets the man in the middle. Peterson becomes the runner at first. So eventually he does reach. And now there are 2 down.
Not quite the same way he wanted to reach, but this ball just too slowly hit to set up the double play. Hill makes sure of the one. Bogey makes the throw. Peterson can get down that line pretty good.
Kike Hernandez will grab a bat. He's going to pinch hit. So both managers starting to go to their benches here with the score 9-0. Of course, my point on accepting say 5 games over 500 for the month is, can you do much better than that realistically with this schedule, with this long road trip, another one still to come, a 4-city trip? Certainly you don't want to just play 5 over, but that's not a bad month. Red Sox did not have a bad month when they went 15-10. You can do that and improve a little bit on that in the month of September. Say play 6 or 7 games over, you're going to be in the hunt for the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree.
It's going to have you up over 92 wins.
Yeah, I think that's, all things considered, they would absolutely take it, depending on how other teams play. If someone else falls in the tank, I'll take that all day long. But if you're looking at a Baltimore team that stays hot, you play 5 over, you may not be catching up with them.
And drop by Sandy Leon, but no advance by the runner at first base. And the Red Sox have a series with the Orioles coming up in August. And they have a couple of series with them coming up in September. Not as many games left with Toronto. Played a lot of games early with the Blue Jays.
I think just 6 left.
Both of those teams have been hot. They both won again tonight. Line drive right field. Betts will play it on a bounce near the line. That'll put runners at first and third as Peterson is down to third base. As his second hit in the inning, and again only 3 in the game against Wright, but now his shutout bid is in jeopardy and perhaps his complete game. See if the Red Sox start to get any activity. They do have a 9-0 lead.
Well, let's watch the way Stephen Wright has been striking out guys right and left. Pretty much all on the same pitch. They talk about it. If the ball's up in the zone, you got to swing at it. There's 2 knuckleballs up in the zone, a third one. That's what we talk about. Steve has no problem with you swinging at his knuckleball when it's up because he knows eventually it's going to come down.
He has 8 strikeouts tonight.
I think that's where he differs from most knuckleball pitchers, because that is the general book. If it's up in the zone, you got to hack at it. If it's down, it's really tough. He loves to throw it up because he knows that late movement's going to drop it straight into the strike zone.
1-0 is popped up into left center field by Chase Utley. Holt rushes in and grabs that, and that will retire the side. So a bit of a threat, but they strand 2, and he's still shutting them out. Wright has been superb. 9-0 Boston. Here from Los Angeles, and the Sox with a commanding 9-0 lead. A couple of changes here for the Dodgers as Chris Taylor will take over at third base. Hernandez will remain in the game to play second. And the new pitcher is Avalon coming out of the bullpen. Luis Avalon, the lefty, to take on Xander Bogaerts, who singled his last time up as part of the 5-run uprising in the 8th for Boston. So Xander on the night, 1 for 4 with a base hit.
Avalon was one of the guys this Dodger team tried to get last season close to the deadline to shore up some of their bullpen issues that they had.
Left-handers 1-0 is down and in for a ball. Big night for Sandy Leon with 4 RBIs to tie a career high. Downstairs on Xander, came in hitting .321, 14 homers, 67 runs batted in.
Red Sox fortunate enough to stay out of the situation to not have to face Kenley Jansen. You talk about one of the best closers in the game today. The Dodgers are ahead and have a lead. You see him, and the lights are out.
3-0 pitch, and that's across for a strike, 82 miles an hour.
You have Kimbrel and Jansen in the stadium. Those are 2 great ones.
3-1, and he's taking a strike on the outside corner. Bogaerts now with 8 hits in 38 at bats on the road trip. He has walked only once on the trip. This being game number 9 on this road swing. Fouls that one away.
Sanders always been an aggressive hitter. He's going to go up there swinging. He doesn't see a whole lot he doesn't like to hack at. See his great numbers, and if he started walking a little more often, those numbers would get even better.
Here's the 3-2 from the lefty. Up the middle, right onto the pitcher, scooped up by Hernandez, and he tosses on to get him. So Bogart's 1 for 5 as he makes the first out here in the 9th. The attendance tonight here at Dodger Stadium, 52,728. Big crowd, but for the most part, Stephen Wright took them out of it with his pitching performance. The Red Sox do have an active bullpen at the moment. Wright allowing only 3 hits over 8 innings, no runs. If the Red Sox send him back out, he'll be bidding for a 4th complete game. Clay Buchholz warming in the pen. Home run swing by Hanley, who's gone 0 for 3. He's grounded a short, popped to second, and struck out tonight.
I would think Stephen Wright's going right back out there, don't you?
I hope so. I'd love to see him go for that complete game. Always fun to see. It's such a rarity these days.
Yeah, it's more fun to see now because it never happens. Saw Porcello have one. We've seen 3 on this trip, haven't we? Or if this one goes 3. Porcello had one.
Yeah, Rick Porcello going 8 innings the other day.
Yeah, 8 innings. You're right. Just that one.
Avilan with a 1-1 to Hanley, the former Dodger.
Porcello got the rare complete game loss.
That helmet coming off. Doesn't happen that much this season for Hanley. It was a regular occurrence last year.
I think maybe because his hair's a little bit longer, hangs on to it better. It's a big hack when your helmet comes off.
Red Sox have hit 3 home runs in this game. Mookie Betts, Sandy Leon, and Travis Shaw, ball gone yard. The 1-2 coming. He would not chase. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Hanley with the bases empty, 1 away, 9-0 Sox. On their way to the 60th win of the year. A victory would put Boston at 60-48. Back to 12 games over 500. Would also make it a winning road trip to date. Pops that one up to right along the line, foul ground. Gonzalez watches it go.
Years ago, that ball would have been in play and probably caught for an out.
Well, this was for many, many years one of the best ballparks to pitch in the game. And that area used to be foul territory, where a lot of those seats are now. Stephen Wright does have 3 complete games. The Red Sox as staff have 6. And the 2-2 pitch from the left-hander Avilan, and he swings and misses for strike 3. So there are 2 away in the Red Sox 9th. And next up will be Benintendi. He's hitting for the first time in this game, first time ever at Dodger Stadium. 2 for 5 as a big leaguer. Got a pair of hits in his first major league start in Seattle the other night. First pitch to him is over with low for ball 1. 9-0 Red Sox in the lead. And really the only remaining drama is, will Stephen Wright come out for a complete game attempt and a shutout attempt?
Got to run him back out there.
Down into the dirt for a ball.
Now there's a first major league hit for Andrew. What a sweet piece of hitting right too. That was a scalded line drive the other way on a ball right off his ankles. They got the ball back in for him. Tommy came over and got it. He probably gave it to his mother that night. That's where they usually end up.
The 2-0 broken back ground ball, and that's to the second baseman Hernandez. And that'll do it. The Red Sox done 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the ninth inning. See if Stephen Wright is coming back out. 9-0 Red Sox. Nine to nothing over LA. Bottom of the ninth coming up, and Stephen Wright is out there looking for the complete game shutout. This would be his fourth complete game of the season. He's up to 108 pitches, 3 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. Obviously one of the best performances of any Red Sox pitcher this season. And it should not be lost in this onslaught of runs.
He's happy to get all those runs.
He has. Chris Seager 0 for 3.
He's just been in complete control all day.
When he struck out the side in the second inning, got 3 good hitters too. That really got him rolling. At one point he set down 15 straight. That's popped into left. Bogart's back there with Shaw. Shaw wants it. He'll take it.
This Red Sox defense is doing a great job of understanding where they're playing here. This is a big park and the ball hangs, but you know that's a ball that Brock Holt may not have gotten to, and so the infielders know they've got to go out there and get it. And they're, you know, the scouting reports on this field and what they've done, the meetings before this series started. Look at that. See, Holt's not getting there for that ball. It's an excellent job.
1 down in the ninth, and the next pitch will be in there for a called strike on Chris Taylor. Batting for the first time since he took over at third base. 217, just 1 home run. And the 0-1 from the knuckleballer is upstairs. I think a tip of the cap to Jim Wolf tonight. Home plate umpire's done a very, very good job back there.
The brother of Randy Wolf, former left-handed pitcher who actually pitched for the Dodgers for a number of years.
Yep, and Jim has never been allowed to umpire a game that his brother pitched,
which just makes sense.
The 2-1 cross for a called strike. Although I'll bet he did it a bunch of times when they were playing in the backyard.
Yeah, and Jim said, you know, it wouldn't be a big deal because I'd squeeze him.
2-2 to Taylor. Waved at and missed. Down he goes, strike 3. Number 9 for Wright, and there are 2 gone in the 9th inning. He's just been terrific.
I think you're right about that second inning. When he struck out the side in the second inning, you kind of look around and say, okay, he's settled in now. He's got it going, and this is going to be a long night for the Dodgers.
You remember in his last start, he got drilled by a shot off of his pitching arm. Had a pretty good welt there, and it went black and blue in a hurry. He has bounced back from that. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast that when Stephen Wright was young, back in his teens, he pitched here, played here at Dodger Stadium. So he's very familiar with it. The 1-0 to Reddick. That's a strike. Reddick tonight has not had a lot of fun hitting against Stephen Wright. He's 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a fly to center.
He hasn't had a lot of fun in a Dodger uniform. He's hitless.
He's 0 for 11, making 0 for 12, assuming this is caught. This should end the ball game. Bogarts will make the play. 1, 2, 3 they go, and a nice smile there from Stephen Wright. His 4th complete game of the season, tied for the most in the major leagues. He sailed tonight, allowing just 3 hits against the Dodgers, and the Red Sox will dance out of Dodger Stadium tonight. An easy victory at him, 9-0, and are now 5-4 on the road trip.
Stephen Wright had about 44 tickets to leave tonight.
They
all got to see a great one. We're gone.
9 runs on 10 hits, no errors. New Dodgers, no runs.
Such a quick out. You don't even have to say anything.
Fans are reminded the Dodgers return tomorrow for Game 2 of this series. The Boston Red Sox. First pitch is at 1:10 p.m. Tonight's attendance 52,728. I'd like to thank you for attending tonight.